Jussie Smollet charges were dropped at demand of state attorney who exchanged bombshell texts with E! News Corp is a network of leading companies in the worlds of diversified media, news, education, and information services. Police are furious about the shock decision to drop the actor's charges. Cops in Chicago are calling for a federal probe into the highly suspicious conduct of the prosecutor who intervened in the Jussie Smollet case and even texted the star and X27's family. They are furious about the and are demanding Cook County State and X27's attorney Kim Fox be investigated over her handling of the high-profile probe. The Empire actor did just 16 hours community service with a non-profit organization before prosecutors dropped all charges against him, and X27's been reported. Smollet divided America when he was accused of in January in a bid to further his career. Attorney Fox promptly disqualified herself from the case last month for exchanging text messages with one of Smollet and X27's relatives in the days after the actor told police he was attacked. Cop Union The Fraternal Order of Police slammed the conduct, accusing Fox of political interference on behalf of the Smollet family. The conduct of her office from the very beginning of this cases was highly suspicious, Martin Priebe, the FOP and X27's vice president, told The entire country is outraged by it. The evidence is over. The country is getting a window into the absurdity of the Chicago political and legal system. Among those now pressing for answers is Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel, who called the shocking deal a whitewash of justice. Smollet, who is black and openly gay, told police he was 2 a.m. on January 29. He claimed two masked men, one wearing a red MAGA-style hat, shouted racist and homophobic slurs as they beat him, put a noose around his neck, and poured bleach on him. The star claimed they yelled "This is MAGA country," a reference to Donald Trump and X27's and X27's Make America Great. It was later claimed Smollet had directed the men who were brothers to buy the noose at a hardware store and the hat and masks at a store in uptown Chicago. Police said the pair wore gloves during the staged attack, and did punch Smollet, but the scratches and bruises on Smollet's face were most likely self-inflicted. Cops said because the actor was upset about his pay on the hit show. He said Smollet had exploited hate crime laws meant to protect minorities by turning the laws upside down for only one thing: himself. With little explanation, the authorities abruptly dropped all charges against Smollet, abandoning the criminal case only 5 weeks after the allegations were first filed. The dismissal raised questions about why Smollet was not forced to admit what prosecutors said they could prove in court: that the entire episode was a publicity stunt. In return for the dismissal, Smollet reportedly agreed to do the community work and forfeit the $10,000 he paid to get out of jail. According to CBS reporter Charlie DeMar, Smollet did community service at Rainbow Push Saturday/Monday for about 16 hours total. He worked in bookstores, sold merchandise. Stuffed envelope. The news comes after the prosecutor, who dropped the charges against the Empire star, has admitted even he does not believe he is innocent. First Assistant State and X27's attorney Joe Magets revealed he made the extraordinary decision to drop the case because the actor has no criminal background. He said he thought Smollet, 36, was guilty, but that based on the facts and circumstances of the case, the decision was made not to pursue charges. "I do not believe he is innocent," Mr. Magets told CBS on Tuesday afternoon. Smollet was charged with disorderly conduct for allegedly staging a phony street attack and claiming he was the victim of a hate crime to garner sympathetic publicity. Then, in an unexpected development on Tuesday afternoon, All charges were dropped against the actor by prosecutors, UN News that rocked America. But he could reportedly still face federal charges as the FBI and the U.S. Postal Inspection Service are continuing their probe into a threatening letter Smollet might have sent to himself. Federal investigators are continuing to probe whether Smollet delivered a racially charged letter to the Empire office in Chicago, according to ABC News. A source told the network that the dismissal of the state's case has not impacted the federal probe. The hate-filled letter arrived a week before his alleged hate crime occurred. Smollet said the letter stated, "You will die black F*G" in cut-out magazine letters with a crude stick figure drawing hanging from a tree. MAGA was written in red letters across the envelope, which also had a crushed-up white powder in it that was later determined to be aspirin. Chicago Police Department Central Commander Ed Wodnicki said the dropping of the charges was a punch in the gut and insists he had a rock-solid case. Meanwhile, Superintendent Eddie Johnson said at the end of the day, "It is Mr. Smollet who committed this hoax, period. If he wanted to clear his name, the way to do that is in a court of law so everyone can see the evidence. I stand by the fact." Yet the actor and X27's attorneys Tina Glandian and Patricia Brown-Holmes said in a statement that their client and X27's record has now been wiped clean. Following the announcement, an emotional Smollet said, "I have been truthful and consistent on every single level since day one. I would not be my mother's son if I was capable of one drop of what I had been accused of. This has been but I am a man of faith and a man who has knowledge of my history, and I would not bring my family, our lives or the movement through a fire like this. I just wouldn't." Initial reports of the assault led to a huge backlash against Trump supporters in the U.S., with one headline claiming the attack was far-right America's endgame. That theme was echoed by other news outlets and backed up by dozens of editorial pieces about how racist and homophobic America had become. A furious President Trump was, not surprisingly, then quick to lay into Smollet after Chicago police arrested him over the fake attack allegations. At Jussie Smollet, what about MAGA and the tens of millions of people you insulted with your racist and dangerous comments? The president tweeted, adding the hashtag and X27MAGA. When news of the attack first emerged days earlier, Smollet was inundated with support across the political divide. However, as it emerged that Smollet knew his attackers and may have even been involved in the staging of the attack, the celebrities and politicians who rushed to support him went quiet. Smollet was accused of lying to police when he told them two men unleashed a racist and homophobic attack on him in the city. Each of the 16 counts against him covered various alleged acts that Smollet falsely described to the officers. Officers at the time said the attack was a publicity stunt because the actor was upset about his pay on the show. Smollet had denied all the allegations against him and ignored on Good Morning America to protest his innocence. Our journalists strive for accuracy, but on occasion we make mistakes. For further details,
Raindrop, drop top, top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.